Hello, so good to meet you at our global motivational meeting. We are reading Messiah's Second Coming speech. This God words that inspire billions of people, families, communities, countries, and the whole world. And will help you to just read this quotes and practice in daily life. Think about them that God could give you tips for happy life and prosperous future. As we're reading this from the beginning, please find all the chapters at our Happy TV channel. And let's see what God prepared for us today. Speech, God's Homeland and the One World, what given on October 16, 2002. And Unification Church Central Training Center, Guri, Korea, Rally for Harmony and Unity in Heaven and Earth. Yes, leaders of religion, politics, and academia who have gathered from around our country and renowned ambassadors for peace. Today, you have assembled here with hopes for a peaceful world. And this meaningful venue, as the founder of the International and Interreligious Federation for Peace, I would like to convey a message concerning God's original ideal, God's homeland, and one world. People who are living on the earth in present day are unable to find the kingdom and the righteousness that God promised. God's kingdom and God's righteousness have been the hope of people who have lived throughout the course of the thousands of years of history, and they remain our hope today. Then how it is that the hope still remain as our final objective, and why wasn't it accomplished in the beginning of human history? It is because human beings fell due to the fall of our ancestors, human beings, who could have become the center of God's kingdom and God's righteousness together with God, found themselves unable to form any sort of relationship with God. In other words, they were degraded so that they became ignorant of the Father, the family, and the nation that are the center of God's kingdom and God's righteousness. Therefore, God has been working hard in the course of history up to this day to enlighten all people who have been groping in darkness, to teach them about Father, the family, and the nation. Therefore, seeking and establishing God's kingdom and his righteousness have remained both our hope and our objective. Presently, numerous nations exist in this world. However, even among those many nations, not even one can be truly beloved to God. So the goal behind God's dispensation of 6,000 years is to this day has been that we deny this fallen world and create a new nation of God. This is why God has carried out the providence of seeking a nation throughout history. It is because God's will to restore human beings cannot be realized without the cooperation of a nation. There must be a true nation centering on a true religion. Thus, God taught a particular nation at a particular time. That was the history centering on the chosen people of Israel, both their nation and their religion, Judaism. What kind of nation is the nation that you hope for? It is not like the nation you are living in today. This kind of nation eventually must say it's forever. We still do not have a nation of God. People without a nation have no permanent address. Without a nation, there is no nationality. That means that there are no grounds on which you can have your name entered in the National Family Registry. Therefore, what we need to do is, in this current world, is to find that nation. We must form the heavenly kingdom. And with that nationality, we must live on this earth as the victorious sons and daughters who have inherited the lineage of true good parents who love their nation and their people. As such, we must lead our family and our clan so that we can enter the kingdom of heaven in the heavenly world. That is the principle. When we have a nation, we have a tradition that we may peacefully leave behind for our descendants for our time, all time. Only then will all our efforts of shedding blood and sweat remain. Only then will a commemorative tower appear on the earth to congratulate God for his hard work. Only then will traces and of all glory remain on the earth. If we cannot establish a nation, everything will be for now. Please understand that seeking and establishing God's nation is the most important issue. Always have the conviction that our family is a family that protects the nation, that can receive true parents' love. Therefore, I must become a dutiful child of true parents and fulfill the duties of a patriot to the nation. This means that you have to receive God and true parents' love. However, you cannot receive God's love freely without a nation. This is because the heavenly nation establishment take place after Satan's kingship has been defeated. We admire God's nation. That is because it is a place where there is love. It is not a place momentarily love. It is a place of eternal love. It is a place where each person can be raised to fulfill their potential and each person's value can be acknowledged 100%. In other words, it is a place of eternal happiness. Therefore, people long and earn for the heavenly kingdom. The path that we have to traverse is a path that we truly want to walk, and the nation that we have to seek and realize is a nation where we truly want to live. Forever. Our possessions belong both to the cosmos and to ourselves. They belong to this age and to the past, and we must make sure that we can guarantee them for posterity. And we need to have the authority and knowledge that will move heaven and earth to cry when we cry and to rejoice when we rejoice. It will be a world of one heart where God, love, and his truth are actualized through his children living as one family under God. This is the greatest desire and hope of the fallen people can realize in the current age. Every person must live in his or her own nation. That is an absolute condition bestowed on each one of us. Each nation will exist in harmony with all other nations, and every person, without exception, would live a righteous life full of hope for the sake of God's kingdom. I'm saying that we have to long for the ideal hometown and establish the rule of righteousness through our lives as we live for the sake of God's kingdom and his righteousness. Okay, so this was for today from True Father. Let's read the now quotes from True Mother. As they are true parents, Messiah second coming. This was True Mother spoke at the second prayer rally for the salvation of our homeland and realization of heavenly unified Korea, which was held on January 9, 2022. Cheongshim Peace Work Center. Distinguished religious leaders gathered here and throughout the world. My earnest wish is to see a truly peaceful world. As we conclude our welcome of the new year, we have learned the profound and mysterious wisdom of heaven. I have said that we have arrived at the final point of all the religions, which must realize the world of peace that God and humankind have longed to see. Consider all that took place in the world this year. We not only had the coronavirus pandemic, but also in many parts of the world, heavy rains and wildfires caused the climate change. Recently, there was a massive wildfire in Colorado and tornadoes in the central United States, which resulted in astronomical property damage that defies description, not to mention the loss of many lives. This is the reason we must join our hearts together. With these global changes, we are realizing once again that there are limits to human effort. The only way for us to become one, therefore, is to become the children of God, our Creator, who is the owner of the universe. However, even though the Spirit may be willing, the principle of the creation still need to be upheld. In other words, human beings have a responsibility to fulfill. And because God could not abandon fallen people, he has been carrying out his providence of salvation. Among all people, God selected one people to be his chosen people and unfolded his providential work. A chosen people, yet as a chosen people, they need to fulfill their responsibility in order to receive heaven's blessing. After a long preparation period of 4,000 years, the providence to save and restore the people of Israel through indemnity was begun when Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son, was sent to earth. At that time, Israel was a vassal of the great Roman Empire. At the time when it was said that all roads lead to Rome, heaven's providence with the people of Israel began with much urgency. The Roman Empire at that time was in a situation where its very future was unpredictable, with many broken families and its young people in chaos. In contrast, the people of Israel had firm and strong families that centered on God. And the Roman Empire then wanted to follow the example. The issue is that in accordance with the principle of creation, our Creator created all things in pairs. Consequently, once the only begotten Son was born, a woman also had to be born. However, those who should have helped with this, such as Mary, the Higher family, Judaism, and the people of Israel, were all unable to fulfill their responsibility. God has toiled for 4,000 years, long years, to send his only begotten Son, and yet the people of Israel, who should have formed a protective environment in which he could carry out his mission, let him go to the cross. How could this happen? Jesus came to have nowhere to stand. On the path to the cross, he said that he would come again. He said that upon his return, he would hold the feast of the Lamb. He meant that he would seek out his bride. Since then, the history of Christianity has continued on for 2,000 years. The truth is, however, that Christianity has not known the true nature of Jesus or of God the Creator. Therefore, even though Christianity put love first, the great powers in the world prioritize their own interest before all else. And the egoists, they did not practice just love, and this brought about to the end of the age of Atlantic civilization. The Creator, however, is an eternal being. He created everything in the world with eternity in mind. Humankind can be saved only by true parents who, thought born among fallen humankind, have the condition of having no relationship with the fall. The only begotten Son was born 2,000 years ago. And yet the only begotten daughter could not appear because the people of Israel were unable to fulfill their responsibility. Heaven then chose the Korean people as his chosen people and raised them in preparation for the birth of the only begotten daughter. That is all why the Korean people need to advance to the position where they can serve God directly. To do so, they need to meet the true parents, be reborn and be resurrected. In other words, it is only through true parent blessing that they can become the children of the heavenly parent. Heaven's providence oriented toward the goodness permitted different faiths to blossom where they best suited their localities. Nevertheless, the final destination for those religions and their leaders is the place where they can receive true parents' blessing. Only then can the entire world truly serve our heavenly parent. Moreover, a heavenly unified Korea and the heavenly unified world can be realized only when the Korean Peninsula, which should become our heavenly parents' homeland, accomplishes its responsibility. I would like to ask the politicians to listen to my words. I have said before that there are limits to what can be achieved by human effort. The Korean people who should uphold the heaven's providence need to follow the path of practicing true parents' words, for it is only then that the Korean Peninsula based by heaven can become the heavenly unified Korea and ultimately realize the heavenly unified world of true freedom, peace, equality, and happiness under our heavenly parent. Only 20 or so days remain until the new year. Not only those of you gathered here today, but also all religions, believers in the world need to join their hearts in fervent prayer and devotion in order to reveal to the world the authority of heaven by which the heavenly parent can be substantially manifested on earth to govern it. The Korean people need to fulfill their responsibility to create such an environment, and we all need to work together to realize a world of true peace and happiness. You are now living in a golden age blessed by heaven, which can only come once in your lives as well as in history. Therefore, you need to work hard so that the record of honor will read, you have fulfilled your responsibility, the blessings and the grace of heaven are overflowing in your families, your nations, and the world. You are the true children of the true parent, of the heavenly parent who made this possible. Please note that the moment when this is recorded will be an unforgettable moment of eternal blessing for all of you. As long as God is with us, we will certainly welcome a vibrant year of the Black Tiger filled with hope. Let us bring this to fruition. Thank you. So powerful quotes for today. If you have difficulties, please watch one more time this video. Share this video as we end this video on Happy Life Subscribers Marathon. Contact me for consultation, cooperation, and become a member of this Heavenly Parents Holy community globally. Receive Heavenly Kingdom citizenship right now. The contact is below. See you tomorrow with more powerful quotes, and choose the suggestion playlist, the best one for you, and listen God's words. Stay blessed all the day. Bye bye. Yours, Nicolae.